Ready.
All right. Welcome everybody to a new homework week. This week we have Lisa from Shady Tree Stitchers, Vicki from Reading and Stitching, and Garrett from Coffee Stitcher joining us. And we're going to discuss weekly homework.
And you're Sammy from Sammy J Stitches.
Yeah. Forget me. Okay, Vicki's gonna start us off with magical stitching homework.
Okay, so this week it's we're saying goodbye to the queen. It's our last week with her, the evil queen. This week is where the queen does her downfall. So we're going to be recreating her potion that she made. This is the one for the poison apple. And so this one, because it's a potion, it has to be done in order. It can't be skipped around. You have to do it in numeric order. So it's 100 stitches, or if you can't do that, the color, then you're going to be doing 150 stitches for penalty, and you can stitch on anything you like. So the first thing that happens is, as she's got the cauldron going, the first color is gray. And it has to be a DMC name, or if you're using a fancy floss, it has to be a DMC conversion of gray. And it has to have gray in the name.
Go ahead and do all the colors, Vicki.
Oh, okay. So we're doing gray, then the liquid turned green, then it turned a sickly blue, then the apple turned black, and then they had to turn it to red to make it tempting for Snow White.
Okay, and so isn't there one if we get this on all the same project?
No. That's something else.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Garrett, you're first. What can you fit for these colors?
Okay, so the projects that I've got, and I'm again making sure I've got the correct order on these. It's first up is gray.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be working on my Three Musketeers stitch along. There's a gray set of leafy things down here, so I have all of tomorrow to get that far so I can count to it. Otherwise, I'll be penalty stitching. For my green, I will be working on, it's a very heavy stitching book club week for me. I'll be working on Pride and Prejudice. And of course, its border is basically nothing but shades of green. And I don't have their exact DMC numbers handy. I know it's Shell Gray 822 for Three Musketeers because I have that pattern handy. For the blue, I'm going to be working on the Veronica and Ginger Beauty and the Beast because the entirety of the Beast is all lovely shades of blue. Blue and blue grays, and it's definitely blues. If not, then I'll figure something else out. But I believe that one's safe. I do not have a black. An excellent choice would have been my Prairie Schooler Nevermore, but since I finished what I needed of the black, because it uses 3371 for everything, that lovely black brown, but I finished that yesterday, and I don't have any more black on it. So I will be penalty stitching that one. And then rounding it out with Strawberry Fields Forever from Blackbird Designs. And my pattern, my piece isn't handy, but this house is lovely shades of red. So that's me for this week.
Lisa?
I'm thinking, I had the same problem as Garrett. I was actually stitching on all my black yesterday as we were talking about what homework was going to be this week. And I finished my black, and then we decided we needed stitches on black. So that was rather annoying.
Sorry.
But that's life. That's life. You get that. I'm going to actually continue working on one of my designs, which is the August month, the shearing month. And this one, I figure I've got the grey up the top here, and I've got the green. And I will check on the color name of the letters in August for a blue. But I'm not too worried because I also have heaps of work to do on my March block where there is, unfortunately, I've done the whole grey rabbit, but I've got a whole chunk of blue here. And then for red, oops, I will probably jump back to February, which has got a hell of a lot of red in it. So that only leaves me with the problem of the black. So I may have to start doing April because April has got an Anzac bugler in black. I'm not sure about the black yet.
I'm muted. Okay, so I'm going to, I can get most of it in this block of shores of Popcorn Hollow because we've got the gray and the blue in these rocks. I don't have green on here, black in the words, and then red in the lighthouse.
Well,
And
can't you
then-
go over to the next block and do green?
I'm not doing that block actually
Oh, okay, sorry.
because I'm doing an edited version of that. So I don't know why I stopped my share.
I don't either.
But then, what the heck? Just love when your computer does whatever it wants. But I can get my green from my Forever and Ever because I'm pretty much working down here in this vine leaf area.
Oh, there you go.
So that gives me all those colors.
So I can get most of mine in my Hawthorne Hollow. This cup, this beer mug, and then part of this brick building I'll go down here has the Dapper Gray, which is 646. And then for my red, I'm probably going to be using Ashley's Roses because I'm kind of right there on that bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be
Nice.
doing, and I can get all the other colors in here. There's green, and then there's that blue.
Yeah.
So.
The Hawthorns are good for that.
Oh, and the black for the borders.
I could use my Hawthorn for the black if I wanted to, but it means that I'd have to jump to that top square, which is next month's block, and we're still doing it in February. So I don't know if I'll do that.
Well, outlining a Hawthorne Hollow block is always a good option because, you know.
Yeah, the outline is red on this one, but the ground under the church is black. So I'll see.
Okay. We have a bonus. It's 300 stitches. And so at the end of the book, the queen had to choose a path. One path was a cliff path and it would lead to her death. And the other one was a forest where she could live. So you have to decide which path she took and explain that.
And that's 300, correct?
Yeah, it was 300.
300, and this is the bonus, correct?
Right.
My bonus is going to largely depend on what I'm at stitching goal wise for the end of the month. So mine is going to be fairly flexible. Most likely, knowing where I'm at on my projects, it'll probably be Pride and Prejudice, and I will be choosing the path of living because there's no death in Pride and Prejudice. So
Well,
that's the current plan.
I'm going to do my Hawthorne Hollow because this middle block here is all about the forest and the trees. So I'm going to send her up to the forest and work on my Hawthorne Hollow.
Okay. I am going to use Sophia because you would find owls in a forest and this is very like foresty looking. So my witch is going to the forest.
I'm going to use my Brooks Advent animals because you would find animals, and I'm going to work on my squirrel. I don't know what number she is. Oh, here she is. Because you would find a squirrel in the forest. So I'm going to work on my squirrel.
Bet I know why you're going to work on that squirrel, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Why would I work on a squirrel?
Mm.
All right, and that's it for
That's it
magic.
for right now.
Right. All right, and Lisa, you're going to read off the daily cross-stitching and daily 30 group, which is a closed group. It does not accept members at this time. We simply discuss it, one, to show how we can double dip certain projects, and also for those that are in the group.
There are quite a lot of people who watch the homework video who like to know how we do it. Okay, so Cheryl has done a weird thing this week. She's going away to market. So she's given us our week's homework, but instead of it being for 2 weeks, it's actually for 3 weeks. And it's got smaller stitch counts, but more prompts. And some of them, as usual, are fairly general and others are very, very specific. So the first one, it's all about the Grand Canyon this week. First one is stitch on a piece that represents your first expedition into something new for you. So for example, specialty stitches, a big ass project, a new color scheme, new floss you hadn't tried. So you can do 100 or 200 stitches, or with Cheryl's ones, you can choose to double them every week. So this week you can double all of them for a build challenge. So you can do up to 400 stitches per prompt if you want. So Sammy, are you first?
Okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat it? My timer was going off.
Expedition, something that you are first exploring, new floss, new fabric, new stitches.
Somehow my thing got messed up. I think I would go back to fireworks on the 4th because it's the first one where I'm working on with Etoile.
Mm-hmm.
So let me show that one real quick. So you working on this one?
That looked good in Etoile. Awesome. You could also use that to double dip in your colours, red and the blue. You can say that already. Garrett, what would be your first foray into a new thing?
Mine would actually be, I've got 2 that I could use, but the one I'm going to go with, I just had to get up and grab all my other whips because I realized that I'm going to need a couple extra things. Would be the Cross Stitcher magazine, and I've only got it digitally and not easily to show the whole pattern. But it's last year's Sal. It was all the different princesses because I'm doing a bunch of skin conversions, and I've never really done skin conversions before.
Oh, Vicky?
I am going to use George because this is one of my first, doing a huge group project. It's going to be sewn together. So I'm going to be working on my rope.
Cool. Well, I'm going to be double dipping, but my Hawk Run Hollow is my first time stitching on 40 count fabric. So I'm going to work on my Hawk Run.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. The second prompt is to stitch on a piece that you feel has a landmark featured in the design. So Sammy, I know what you, straight away I'm thinking Pretty Little Paris, Pretty Little London.
Finished Pretty Little London. So
Yep.
yeah, the Pretty Little Paris.
There you go. I should know what you finished. I forget.
Vicky?
George, it's got the Delaware in it, where he crossed the Delaware River.
Garrett?
There
I have nothing with a landmark in it currently.
That's all right. Well, I've got one that I haven't got to show you, but it's a bit of a sideways slant on a landmark. And I am thinking about working on my cunning cross-stitch Hogwarts Sal that's happening, letters from Hogwarts, because at the top of the picture is the castle, the Hogwarts castle. Now that is a landmark for anyone who likes Harry Potter. So yeah, I think I'll work on my, well, I've already done it, so yeah. All right, the next one, stitch on your Grand Canyon, your biggest whip.
Ooh, I think that one's going to be Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Oh. I'm working on George. It's my biggest one that I have to, my Grand Canyon, because I have to get that done because of the deadline. So yeah, that's my big Grand Canyon.
Mine would be a toss-up between two projects because I finished my biggest one, what had been my biggest one this week. So it would either be Paradise Lost from Plum Street because it's bigger than it looks, or With Thy Needle from Lila's studio, which is pretty big too. I don't tend to work on like on a ton of full coverage things. So mine, I judge more off how much of my fabric are they filling up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not everyone does do the full coverages. Mine,
Did I
however,
totally miss when you finished Giant Harry Potter?
Oh, it's currently inactive. It's one of those, I will put it away for 4 or 5, 10, 12 months, and then I'll work on it nonstop for about 3 weeks. And then I have to put it away again. So it's currently on the not working on it phase.
Then time out.
Yeah, well, it's not really time out. I just have zero desire on it. I'm not angry enough at it for it to be time out.
I clicked the button too early. But my Amazing Animal Kingdom would definitely be my biggest because it is a super size. I don't know if it's super size, but it's matched color. So they're all the same size, my Hades, but it's got more colors, so that makes it the biggest.
There you go.
All right, stitch on a piece that is at least 200 stitches high.
Okay, that's going to take some pulling up of another.
High or wide?
High.
High.
That's an interesting one.
I've
It's
got
to
mine.
get you thinking. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
what do you, Vicky?
George.
I was figuring that. Because
Hey.
even your bit's more than 200 high.
George
How,
can
how,
be just a lot. I'm going to be switching projects in just a few minutes, though, I promise.
how tall is your section of George?
I honestly don't know. I know right now I'm only on the 3rd row, and it's 170 right now.
So it's pretty high. Well, I figured for
Or the
that
4th.
one, while the other two are thinking, I can either go for my Run Hollow, because it's more than 200 high, that's the whole thing, or my animals, because I can do more on that, because the Hades are definitely more than 200 tall. Well, not the mini Hades, but the regular ones. Garrett, what do you got?
No. Okay, so Fairy Tales, the Fairy Tale Princesses one is literally my only one, and it's at 207 high.
Oh,
Everything else I have is wide, but it's not very, I don't have anything that's high, because everything, apparently I have a thing for landscapes that I'm just discovering. So, yeah, that's my only one that would work for that one.
We taught you something new about yourself.
It's true.
So mine will probably be my Hades. Like,
yeah.
I don't actually keep track of that.
No, I've never looked at that before. So yeah, my oh, I take back. It's not my Animal Kingdom. It's my Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, this next one has a trick in it. Visit Bright Angel Ranger Station and stitch on something cold, or visit Phantom Ranch and stitch on something hot. Be sure and tell us which one you're visiting. However, 2 bonus tokens if you stitch both. And I presume that means stitch on a WIP that has got both something hot and something cold in it.
So does that mean 100? Does that mean 400 stitches, 2 for each, or just 200 total?
200 total for the bonus of 8 for the total of 8 tokens. I'm not sure how it goes if you're doubling your stitches, but if you're just doing the 100 or the 200 stitches, but you stitch on something with something cold and something hot in it, you can get 8 tokens.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you got? It's hot and cold.
I have 2 things. So I could go George because there's a sunshine and there's ice, or I could double dip with Magical Stitches and do a year because I got them skating, and then I got the hot blazing sun with the corn. So I could double dip.
That sounds pretty cool. Jared or Sammy?
I would be actually doing another round on With the Needle, because there's a lovely sun, which is hot, and very cold ocean water down here.
Yeah, I was kind of going the same route with my shores because we've got the hot sun and the cold water.
It's not that hard to do, really.
I assume ocean water is cold. I've never been to the ocean.
It's
Well,
cold.
surprise, surprise, I'm going
Okay.
to do more of an animal because this whole section at the bottom of the polar bears is cold. And this second row here is all desert, and that's bound to be hot.
Right.
So, yeah, Magical Animal Kingdom is good to me this week. And then, look at the next prompt. Stitch on a piece with an animal. And you get a bonus token if it's a squirrel, Vicky.
I know, right? Why would I be working on my squirrel? Hang on, I'll find her again. She's laying here in my lap. There she is. These little advent animals are great for challenges because they fit all sorts of things. So I'm working on a squirrel.
Cool. Carrot?
Okay, so for something with an animal, I could again use With the Needle. I could also use good old Paradise Lost by Plum Street, because it's an Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and there's a poop ton of animals in that. I could do Beauty and the Beast, because the beast is an animal. There's Birds and Pride and Prejudice, and Strawberry Fields, and there's bats and birds in My Prairie Schooler. So basically the vast majority of my projects would work for that one.
Cool. Tammy?
I don't see that I have a squirrel anywhere, but squirrel adjacent. No, not really. I could work
Raccoons?
on you.
Yeah,
So
that would be cute. Well, I was instantly what jumped to my mind, which is not on my list of things to do, but was that little Sassy Jats raise money for Australian firefighters, where they've got a squirrel and a koala or a kangaroo. So anyone
And
who's
Blue
bought
Flower
that,
has a lot of squirrel options too.
yes. So that would be easy. I'm going to work on my Animal Kingdom, and I haven't actually found if there's a squirrel yet, but I bet there probably is. I just have to go for a hunt. But if not, then I'll just do an animal, because there's 50 gazillion of them on there.
right.
All right, this next one's a bit tricky. Stitch on a piece you've intentionally left out part of the design to create your own missing layers. You've intentionally left out part of the design. There's Vicky.
Mine's easy.
George, because you're missing the rest of the design.
George, because I only have the rope, so everything else is not there. So I'm working on George.
So by intentionally left out, could that mean like it'll be there at the end, but like say beads, you're leaving it out until you get to the end? Or does it mean completely left out?
I think it means you wanted to create your own missing parts. So yeah, I don't think it means I haven't got to the beading yet. I think it means I've chosen to not bead. I've chosen not to do the French knots, and I'm going to put beads. That would be okay. Or I'm doing my little, I'm not doing it, but if I was doing my little August shearing shed and I left the word August off because I didn't want the word.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For me, then it would be Paradise Lost, because there's one or a couple of small over one birds, and I'm not doing them because they don't make any difference overall, and I hate over one, especially on 36 count.
Yeah, I bet. I think I would do, I solemnly swear, because I'm leaving off the stripes. I feel like the stripes are too busy and you can't read the words. So I'm not doing that striping in the banner.
Oh, that works. Well, my one's thanks to Megan May. She pointed out, I don't know, can you see the center top square there?
Up a little bit.
A little bit.
There you go.
Okay. See the spelling of Isaiah? It's actually spelt wrong. So she's changing the name totally, and I'm going to do something with it. So I'm going to leave that Isaiah off and turn it into something else that's not that, because it's spelt wrong and I can't cope with that either. So I'm going to have to, I might just leave it off and just put the Reverend Cook with a gap next to it. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. So that's what I'm going to leave off. Visit the Cave of Domes and stitch on a piece with a dome shape.
Apologies, my dogs can't seem to go outside at the exact same.
A dome shape.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we feel like this is a dome shape on the top of this?
Can you make it bigger? Is that possible?
That
No.
work?
I
don't think it's a dome. I think it's too pointed. To me, a
Okay.
dome's going to be rounded.
Mhm.
I would love it if that was the case, because then I could do that too. Vicky,
I
you
would
got a
have to
dome?
pass. I don't have anything with a dome.
Oh,
I'm
there
doing
you
my
go.
I'm doing my retired
No, wait.
Heaven and Earth, because I think that's like a dome. Wouldn't you say that's a dome?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a dome.
Okay, I would have to use with thy needle because the silo that's super tiny and you can't really tell too well in this picture is
The
a dome.
silo's a dome, definitely.
Okay, I got it.
Yep, you got it.
Oh. Stupid. Okay. There's a dome right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works. Pretty
Yeah,
little parrots. Well, I'm undecided because I was looking at it and I thought possibly the gravestones have a dome-ish shape,
Mm-hmm.
but that might be pushing it too much. I'm not sure. And Shell does no questions, so you can't ask. But oh, if I could do that, I want to look at it. In the middle of my animal kingdom, I'm showing you this because I zoom in. Look at that butterfly in a dome.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's in a glass ball. A glass ball would be a dome.
Does your
So-
village at Hawk Run have a silo?
No, it doesn't seem to have a silo. It has a mill. I know my scarecrows have a silo, but that wasn't really on my list of things to work on this week. So yeah, I don't know. It's as I said, some of those are quite challenging.
Mm-hmm.
All right, stitch on something long and thin that reminds you of a snake. Bonus if you actually have a snake in them.
So do you have to stitch on the snake, or does it
No.
just have to have a snake?
It just has to have a snake. And
Have
I'm going to butt in. I'm going to butt in
You go ahead, Lisa.
just now because I've got it ready and I'll probably die. But again, in my animal kingdom, can you see that snake just there coming out of a basket near the water? About
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
there. That's me now.
I am going to do the legendary creatures because this is a snake biting its own tail.
All right.
Ouroboros.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to try and butcher that.
Something that's long and thin, I would be able to stitch again on Paradise Lost because there's a lovely long tree trunk. And there is a snake over here because, again, Garden of Eden.
Yep, that makes sense.
It also even has a little verse that says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. So not only does it have one, it mentions it too.
There you go. So my year at Hawk Run, there is a snake
Yeah, there is.
right there.
Awesome. And that is the end of Shirl's one.
All
So
right.
until the 13th.
So we don't have any of the other groups yet because it's kind of early on Saturday. But we do have a sneak preview from Miss Vicky.
I don't even have it typed up yet. It's just in the notebook. So at some point this week, I will be releasing the extra credit. So the reading extra credit, we'll do that one first. You're going to read a book where someone gets, because we're reading Disney at Dawn, the second Kingdom Keepers book. So we're going to read a book about someone who gets kidnapped, a book with an animal on the cover, a book with a parade. This is going to be a different one. Read a book with illustrations, and you're going to need to post a photo of an illustration from your book. So Garrett, you can read a Wizard of Oz book. And the last one, the alternate reading task this month is a little complicated, so you're really going to have to think on it. Because one of the bad guys that they're talking about this month is Chernabog. So you're going to read a book with all the letters that spell in the title and subtitle that spell out Chernabog. So that should be interesting. All right, ready for your Stitching Extra Credit preview? So the first one, these are all 300 stitches. The first two are 300 stitches, and the third one is not. I don't think. We didn't say 300.
No, I think.
20. Yeah. Okay. So the first one, stitch on a project that has a vine or something that looks like a vine.
Okay, mine would be my Forever and Ever, because the vine that goes around the birds.
Yep.
Mine would be Pride and Prejudice because of the border.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't given mine any thought yet whatsoever. I'm guessing my Animal Kingdom would have a vine somewhere in the trees, or probably let's have a look at Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Because that one.
Would those roses be vines?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
What roses?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's roses.
Oh, here, I'll show you, Lisa. This one.
Hold on, I can't look. I'm doing. I can't see. All right, show me now. Go. I'm looking. Yeah. Well, see, my Hawkround Hollow might have some vines on it. Or Once Upon a Fairy Tale, I'm sure this stuff down here is vines. Or up there, most likely. So I would say probably Once Upon a Fairy Tale has vines on it.
I definitely like around that doorway.
I have to look closer, but I feel like that's vines.
The picture's clearer than mine.
They vary depending on which one I look at. What's next?
Stitch on a project. This is a really random one, but this really does play a part in the book. Stitch on a project that has either a monkey, a bat, or a dinosaur. It's very weird and random, but they are actually in the book. Monkey, a bat,
for me, I would be stitching on Nevermore because it's got 3 bats who I've named Edgar, Allan, and Poe. Yeah, because I don't think there's monkeys on Paradise Lost, and there's definitely not one in With the Needle. And I don't currently have an Oz project, so no monkeys there.
Well, my Animal Kingdom, I have done the big gorilla, and he's a monkey. So I could do stitches on my Animal Kingdom, or I could do this sort of Halloween-y square out of Hawkround Hollow because it's got bats in it.
I'm looking to see if my Brooks animals have a bat, a bear, or a... They don't. I know they don't have a dinosaur.
There's a polar bear, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not bear.
It's a monkey, a bat. A monkey or a bat.
And no bear.
Where did I come up with bears?
I thought I heard bear. She said bear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this one has a bat, so I can do hop run.
And I'm thinking thine is the trick and the treat because there's a bat right here.
I don't know if
and when I first looked at this piece, I could not find the bat. I was like, there's got to be a bat on this piece. There cannot not be a bat.
I see a cat and a rat.
You guys are going to have to help me remember. So the last one is we're doing a stitch and spell. Like we said, Chernabog is the bad guy. So you're going to stitch and spelled Chernabog with an item in the project. So, and you have to, each letter is 100 stitches, and you have to, if you can do it, it's 500 bonus points to go towards any of the team events. Yes. Okay.
Is that if you do
But
it?
that's if you do the entire thing on one project.
One project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you spell it for us, Vicky?
CHERNABOG.
Thank you.
Now, I'm
And
sure I
it's items.
probably have a project I can do that with, but I haven't had the time to sit down and actually study to figure out what's what.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet either, but I will be trying to stick to my focus pieces of either the fairy tale or the animal. I'm quite sure Animal Kingdom, I find an animal that starts with every letter. My Hawkeye Hollow, or alternatively, I would really like to do some more work on my We Are Humans. So I may be able to find things in that for the. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
I would have. Yeah, it's one of those things you would have to sit down and look at, but I want to try and fit it on Minnie Alice and a Dolly Dream, if I can, since I work on it all the time.
So I'm either going to use it on my animals, because I think I could my animals easily, but then I can also use it on Hawk Run.
Yeah.
I really think my animals is going to be the easiest thing.
Yeah,
Now,
I think with
Go ahead.
I would say I think with the needle or the fairy tale princesses is probably the one I'll be able to pull that off with.
And to
Can you-
clarify, because I feel like this may be a question that's asked, if I'm trying to fit it all in one piece and the only R I can come up with is red, we can use red as a item, correct?
There's a red dress.
Yes.
That was exactly what I
You
was
just
gonna
can't
ask.
say, I'm using a red thread or dark fabric or red fabric.
Yeah.
Thread or fabric doesn't work on this one. It has to be an item in the project.
And do we count letters as items? So if there's an alphabet? Okay. I didn't think so, but I wanted to clarify because I knew
We
that
don't use letters.
a potential question.
Oh, and we have movies. We have movies this month. Stitch and watch a movie. We're in France because we're doing the World Showcase, making the tour. So this month we have Cinderella, Ratatouille, Beauty and the Beast, Aristocats, and Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo.
This is the time to use your Disney Plus and go, hey, look, let's watch one of these old movies no one really remembers.
Yeah.
I like Herbie. He's
I
funny.
do too. Anything with Dean Jones is going to be good. So
We were talking about him at lunch today.
That's good. So that's basically all our homework done.
Extra credits done.
Extra credit for Magical. Next week, I'm guessing, Sammy, will be a lot of focusing on, well, there'll be new weekly stuff, but the new book for Magical.
Mm.
We won't have anything else to talk about shells next week.
Right.
Maybe we'll have Cheryl's extra monthly.
I doubt it if she's at market. That's the whole reason she
Think
put
so.
out the homework like
That's
she
true.
did. So
What else is happening? Anything new? We're about to hit letter E in the alphabet soup.
Yep, I'm going to work on Ethan Elephant.
Letter of Fortune is going to be starting March 1st. They have created a separate group for that event, so that, you know, people don't get blocked when they're posting pretty constantly. So if you want to get signed up for that event, now is the best time because they're going to start making those puzzles to have them ready to go on the 1st. What else? I think that's it for semi-sane right now. Well, and of course, next month is a new
Country.
yes, country or area, because Hawaii is not a country.
No, but yeah.
But
And I haven't even looked to see what it is yet, but
Hang on,
there's a
I'll
new
look.
one. Well, we can look at that. We can talk about that next week.
yeah, well, and it's just crazy because I feel like we just did all this and we're already at the end of the month. Like February just flew
February sneaks up on you.
by.
But we get an extra day.
Oh, we're going to be in Ireland.
Ireland.
Nice.
We do get an
Mother's
extra.
Day.
We're going to do Virtual Sisters is doing a new start on the 29th of every month for leap year.
I need to figure out what that's gonna be for me. I'm gonna like spin a wheel or something.
Well, it's either going to be my monkey. I got like 4. I should have already started and I haven't gotten around to doing it. So
It might be my letter E project, whatever that's going to be.
Alrighty, well, we will let y'all go and we will see you next week.
bye. So I don't turn it off. You do.